Hello and welcome to High Point Music. My name is Lewis, and in today's episode I'm going to be doing a review on this Charvel Pro Mod SoCal Style 1 guitar. The guitar I just bought, and I wanted to have a chat about the things that I thought were really cool features about it that made me choose it over the other guitars I was considering, and a little bit of a rundown, give you an idea what it sounds like. So let's jump in and do that. I'll run through some pickup combinations because rather than talk like I did on the last take for an hour, I thought let's make some noise. So starting off, I'm in my bridge pickup here. I'm playing the guitar into the Interstate Z, which is the Dr. Z modeled amp from Line 6 HX Stomp, and I'm just running that into a Mesa Boogie 2x12 IR from York Audio. I've done that because I get a lot of volume out of it. It's good for clean tone. This is what it sounds like on the bridge. Second position. Now I will point out that in the second position we have the inner coil here and the single middle pickup here. That's those two on at the same time. When we go to the middle here, it actually uses this pickup and this pickup. So our third position. So you can even hear that pickup combination, that nice sort of spanky maple neck sort of sound you would expect from a guitar that looks like this. Going to the fourth position, which is this pickup here and the outer pickup of the tapped humbucker. And then to the neck. And now the neck is just this humbucker on by itself. So you can hear the chords that get that kind of funky kind of guitar tone that I really like from the maple neck. This combination of pickups in the clean tone was a deciding factor for me. The other guitars that I played didn't quite have the balance that I was looking for. I am very spoiled. I have very nice Fender Strat, I have a very nice Tokai Strat, they have very nice pickups in them. They nail that classic five-way Fender sound, and so I needed whatever guitar I chose to be as versatile. And although this wiring scheme is different, I'm really happy with the pickup sounds that I get just on those tones. So just a little bit of lead work on that bridge. So very snappy, very bitey, good difference of tone between the three pickups and the five positions. Very cool. A deciding factor was how versatile the pickups were. I don't have a problem changing pickups in a guitar, but I always hate myself for doing it when I think I should have just learnt to use the pickups better. So the fact that this came out of the box and just works for me, I'm very pleased. On the subject of pickups, this is a Seymour Duncan SH6 distortion, a Seymour Duncan custom flat strat, and another Seymour Duncan distortion. I think this one is the, sorry, this is the TB6, and this is the SH6. Cool tapping options, a little bit warm, but you can always drop them down a little bit just to take the edge off. Complementing the pickups is their electronic system. Now the simple tone control here is just a normal tone control, what you're used to hearing. It makes the guitar go from So traditional tone knob, what is special about this guitar is that the tone control has a no-load circuit in it. And what that no-load circuit does is it almost acts like a little switch. When your tone knob goes from 10, where it's the dullest, to 1, say there, that's what most tone knobs will do. Now what most electronics results in is a little bit of signal still going through that tone control, killing a little bit of the brightness or whatever pickup combination you've got. This guitar has a no-load circuit where you go click and the knob just wants to move from, say, out of 10, it wants to move from 0.5 to 0 on its own. There's almost a little detent, a notched position where once that tone control locks back into, it actually removes that potentiometer from the circuit, less signal loss. If you're doing more high gain work, more articulate picking with a different shape pick or something, you might notice those really high-end transients get lost with the tone control circuit. So having it switch out when it's off, I thought was a very, very good value feature. A deciding feature on this guitar. This was one of the reasons that I picked this over the Fender Strat model that I was looking at. So very cool. I should mention that tone control is over everything. If you do go to the neck pickup, it does work on all of the pickups at once. In a perfect world, I would probably only use that on the bridge. However, being a new guitar, I might end up using it to control the tone on the neck pickup a little more like a Les Paul. We will have to see. So the electronics were pretty cool. I thought they were very fitting and I have no qualms using them as they are. I don't really want to modify anything. The pickup selection gives me really good options. So that part of the guitar is pretty cool. Yeah, we all agree? Awesome. So now you've heard a little bit about what the pickups can do. I'll talk a little bit more about the guitar itself. The neck is made of maple. I'm a big fan of maple necks. I've got a maple neck Les Paul, I've got a Strat, I've got a Telly. I love the snappiness you get, the tight bottom end response you get from the maple neck, particularly doing things like maple necks, love them, love them. This particular neck does have a graphite reinforcement rods in it to help it keep a little more stable. I thought that was a very cool touch, particularly compared to some of the more vintage options that I was looking at. Just helps that neck to stay really, really straight and keep all of those frets in place, which will help the playability of the guitar overall. I also liked the fact that you can adjust the truss rod just here with this little spoke wheel that they use. Very easily accessible. I tend to lose the little cover that goes over them when they're up here. And being that there's quite a bit going on here at the nut end of the guitar, I thought that was a really nice modern appointment to have. It doesn't look too wacky having it there, it doesn't get in the way of the frets, and yeah, makes it really easy to make a very small adjustment to, which you might need to from time to time. Rock maple neck, cool, bolted onto the body, just like a Fender Strat, cool. Speaking of Fender Strats, I should point out that as Charvel is made by Fender, this is made in Mexico, it does have the licensed Fender headstock and the licensed Fender Stratocaster body, so there's no change of shape there that might put a very seasoned Fender Stratocaster player off. It's very comfortable. You've got the contour here, the cutaway here on the back, super comfortable. The body itself is made of alder, so you've got alder body and a maple neck, That's a very classic combination for a Strat, and I really dig scratch plates. I played a Dinky, a different Charvel model, had a roasted maple neck and this beautiful burgundy finish, just a humbucker and a Goto 510 floating tremolo. I really liked it, but I kind of like the flat white single ply scratch plate. Those of you who've seen me play my Fender Strat on this channel, I have the same kind of pick guard on that. Just kind of makes the look, and doesn't look as green because there's some white there. Good fun. So pretty classic Fender style makeup of the guitar. I should point out that the frets on this neck are jumbos. They are big. They are much bigger and wider than the frets on more vintage style guitars, which tends to be the guitars that I have in my collection. And so a more stunt guitar feel, a speedier feeling guitar just from the fret access was a big selling point to me. These feel great. They all seem to sit in position pretty well. The neck is finished in a hand-rubbed urethane finish. I'll slowly spin that around there. You can see that that is actually a satin finish. It feels very smooth to run my hand over. Glossy necks might feel a little stickier, and I have a guitar with a glossy neck that does get a bit sticky in the more humid months. This is very easy to play, very comfortable, feels very modern in comparison to a vintage guitar. One of the things I liked about this guitar over an Ibanez that I played was this beautifully rolled edge on the top. And what that means is they go across this very top corner here of the fretboard and smooth it over. And it really gives it that nice played in feel. It doesn't catch your finger or anything along there. It's all part of the comfort and a very, very nice touch for the price point of the guitar. So a very familiar feeling guitar to what I'm used to, with a couple of modern things like the jumbo frets, the satin neck, 22 frets over 21, just make a little bit more stunt guitar material for me, which is what I was looking for. I don't need another vintage Strat. The other massive factor of this guitar, and the reason that I bought a new guitar, was because I've been listening to a couple of bands, one band called Pliny and another band called Polyphia. To say that they are incredible guitarists is an understatement as big as I could think of. I love the way they play guitar. It's beautifully melodic, very instrumental, and they make a lot of use out of a floating tremolo system. The floating tremolo system allows them to do some really expressive vibrato. I should keep calling it a floating vibrato system, not a floating tremolo system, because it's vibrato, not tremolo. But the floating vibrato is something I don't have on another guitar. I don't have something you can punish quite as hard as this, and it really allows you to do some cool sounds. I probably should show you what some of those cool sounds are. Let's have a quick look. So you just, that's what you can do with a Floyd Rose. You can do a lot more melodic stuff. I'm going to require a lot of practice to get to that point, but it's a beautifully soft touch vibrato. Allows me to bend some notes up, allows me to pitch bend into whole chords, allows me to add some really subtle vibrato, because instead of just vibratoing down out of tune, you can lift it above and pull it under, and lift it above and pull it under, and get something that moves around the note rather than just below the note. And that was a big selling point for me. I hammered this thing in the shop. I sat there and like this, silence in the guitar room while I was wailing away on it. And I found that coming back to it, it returns to tune very, 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 very well. Something that my other vibrato guitars don't do. They're simply not manufactured for that amount of pitch change with that much string tension change on the guitar, and so that was a big defining factor. If it had been available in another color, I probably would have bought the Burgundy Mist. They do another version of this guitar which has the 510 Goto bridge on it, another floating trem and just locking tuners, no locking nut. It doesn't have a scratch plate, just the 2 humbuckers. There's a pretty cool coil tap here that gives you a 10 position pickup selection. I almost bought that one. It was amazing, roasted maple neck, a little thinner than this. However, I dig the Strat look very, 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 very much. I can get a major third bend with the Floyd Rose, bending up, whereas with the Goto bridge I can only get a minor third. And although that's a pretty common bend to be using, I wanted the extra. I wanted that little bit more that what the Floyd Rose could give over what the 510 Goto bridge could get. Doesn't mean I'm not going to buy that other Charvel, it just means I'm probably not going to get it right yet. So a cool mashup of stunt guitar versus a vintage style Fender Strat. Very easy to play, amazing price point. I did pay a little bit more to get a hard case for it. That's because it's nice and shiny and green and I don't want to scratch it. So keep an eye on the channel for some more videos coming up. Once I get better at using the Floyd Rose, I want to incorporate it more into my playing, and I've got a couple of effects there that I want to use to try and really accent making this sound like something other than a Fender Strat. Or a Charvel Strat, or whatever Strat. A Strat style guitar, if the legal department are listening. The big appeal of this was to learn some new skills, and I thought that would be really fun. So keep an eye out. If you dig the Charvel and you want to see more of it, leave a comment below. If you have a Charvel, I want to hear from you. I particularly would like to know who chose the Goto bridge over the Floyd Rose and why. I think that would be a very interesting discussion to have. The other guitar played so beautifully, I'm almost regretting not buying it as well. Thank you for watching us. Follow the links below if you want to support the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, cool. 3, 2, that was 2 minutes of wasted time. 3, 2. Hello and welcome to High Point Music. Don't look at the other cameras. 3, 2.